Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host Tony Cañas, very proudly wearing my Rice Insurance, the best industry to work on shirt. Rice 2 weeks ago in Fort Lauderdale was fantastic. Today I have with me a returning guest, Zehra Cataltepe. I might have pronounced that halfway correctly. CEO at Tazi AI, that's Tazi Tazi, and PhD, well, master's and PhD in computer science, both from Caltech. Zehra, a great pleasure to have you back. I always enjoy seeing you and the Tazi team out on the road, and always enjoy having you back. For the listeners who are not yet familiar with Tazi, I will include in the show notes episode 262 from 2 years ago, where you gave the introduction of what the company does. So today, I think that episode was before Gen AI really went crazy, right? Like just before. So today we're talking more about kind of like the use cases of what you're seeing out in the real world of the insurance world. So first of all, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
It's going great. And Tony, it's always great to see you. You like whenever I see you, my level of energy doubles, triples. So it's so awesome to see you. And
Thank you.
congrats for the rise as well. You guys seem to have a lot of fun in those events. I should join one of them.
I have so much fun. By the way, in your case, I would consider the Alta World Women in InsurTech. It's
Okay.
coming up in Boston in August. I've never gone to it, but I've heard nothing but great things. And this year, Insurance Nerds is a partner. But basically, all of my favorite female founders go to that one, and they love it. So it looks like a really good one. Okay.
Awesome.
And if I have the discount code in time, I'll try to put it in the like underneath our faces. But yeah, Insurance Nerds will definitely have a discount code for that one. I don't think we have it yet, but we might have it by the time this goes out. All right, so let me ignore that call. Okay, perfect. So and we are recording on July 3rd, so literally just before the July 4th holiday. So you're in California, so you probably still have half a workday left. Me, I finish up with you, I do one more call, and it's the long weekend.
Good for
uh,
you. Okay.
so before we start recording, you mentioned that you're really excited about how automation and AI can be used to really improve claims efficiency, especially in the TPA space, and using responsible AI, which I really love the terminology. So yeah, tell me more about that. What are you seeing out there? What are you guys doing with clients in that space?
Sure, sure. Tony, in case people don't have time to go back to the previous episode, let me just repeat what we do. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tazi AI, and at Tazi, we have created a B2B software as a service platform, which is utilized by customer-facing teams in operations, outreach, support, marketing, and sales to increase their demand, retention, and fraud detection rates, and also to increase their efficiency. And they do this in the most profitable way, rapidly and easily. And our solutions utilize both AI and generative AI to process both structured and unstructured data, as well as domain experts' knowledge. So when people think about AI and generative AI, they always think about their data. And especially with generative AI, what's happening is these AI systems can actually explain how they behave to humans, not just technical humans, but humans in general. So the gap between the depth of technical knowledge needed to understand and to use these systems, the AI systems, are actually narrowing with generative AI. And I see that as a huge opportunity, not just for insurance, but for all other verticals where we human beings exist. So that's why I'm excited about the
And
new developments in generative AI and
so
also.
in our heavily regulated industry, and really in any heavily regulated industry, that's a big deal.
Yes.
Because predictive modeling and all the stuff that's coming in the last couple of decades is really cool. But if we can't explain it to the regulator, we
Yes.
can't use it in our very heavily regulated industry, right?
Yes.
Uh, so how is it playing in the claim space?
So first of all, we just passed, by the way, one of the EU standards. Like there is this Alt AI is heavily, it's really strong in terms of making AI responsible, and we just passed a test with one of our clients on this. So how is it possible? It's really possible by making AI controllable. One of our investors actually asked us, like he asked us, what Tazi can do in terms of responsible AI. So I just pulled up my response to him, and I want to really read it because what I told him, and what I would like to tell you as well is, first of all, AI is not responsible. People are responsible. So by including people, not just technical people, more in the AI solution creation, deployment, monitoring, and update processes, as Tazi, we are making sure that AI reflects what people want. And we presume that people in the organization have the necessary understanding of what responsible means. So we are including humans as humans in the loop, humans on the loop, and humans in command. These mean, these are alt AI terms. These mean that in the loop means AI doesn't make the final decision, humans make the final decision. Human on the loop means humans are very involved in the design and monitoring of the AI systems, and human in command means humans can stop the AI system whenever it is needed. So those are really basic, responsible AI definitions, really. And I think everybody should ask themselves, is my AI accommodating humans in the loop, on the loop, and in command as well? Does this make sense? Because I have a couple of more things about
Yeah,
this.
no, I'm definitely with you thus far.
Sure. Okay. The other thing we have is the technology to monitor the AI models. And there are lots of platforms that allow you to do that, by the way. But our tech brings the domain experts into the picture to understand and supervise what the models are doing. So I have not seen a Tazi client who did not ask us, how are these models behaving? How are they creating these predictions? And we give them explanations on how AI is performing, how AI is working, and also performance metrics on not just AI, but also business KPIs, such things like profitability, risk. So our customers have access to how their models are doing, not just in terms of machine learning accuracies, but also metrics that define their business. The other thing that makes AI responsible is actually accepting that just like people, AI can make mistakes. And by reducing the effort and time required for AI updates and fixes, people are able to correct the mistakes of AI easier. So it's not really a matter of, will my AI not make any mistakes? It's really a matter of, am I going to be able to catch those mistakes, and am I going to be able to fix those mistakes? So you have to think of your AI solutions not as solutions that were created by some other company, and you buy a point solution and you cannot touch that solution, and they cannot be created by just data scientist teams, and you don't have access to fix it when something goes wrong. Because I guarantee you, as a person who has done AI for 35 years, your AI will break one day. So you have to know how to fix it as soon as possible.
So
And
the
yes,
question, okay, so that comment, just like people, AI can make mistakes. That comment made me think.
yes,
So there's a saying that I've heard a lot since I was in college. And I started college in computer science, but I couldn't do the math. So I ended up in management information systems. So I've got a little bit of a technical background, but I'm really a business guy. And even back then in 2002, when I started college, they would tell us that uh, a, a a person can make a mistake, but to really screw things up beyond all recognition takes a computer, right? Uh, Now, if we extrapolate that to the new AI era, where the
Yeah.
computer, where we're not feeding the computer specific rules the way that we used to for expert systems, and where the computer is learning from massive amounts of data, the way that a baby learns to walk or to talk, uh, it makes sense that it would be easy without proper supervision for the AI to really go off the rails quickly.
Yes.
And some news that I've seen over the last couple of years that maybe I didn't like dig into super deeply, uh, but I think it was I think it was the Google or Meta allowed to AI models to speak with each other, like them
Yes.
not knowing that the other was also an LLM, uh, and they quickly descended into creating their own language, which then we couldn't read, right? And then they shut them down, like that kind of stuff where like it's doing things that either we actively don't want it to do, like the several models that like fairly quickly turn like neo-Nazi because they read too much crap on the internet, kind of thing. uh, or this where they like go mysterious and start like creating their own language, or so basically, yes, I can totally see how, unless we build and by we I mean you guys,
No,
uh
no, we actually, because it used to be just people with PhDs.
mhm.
Now it's people, really, it's
Oh,
us.
so
You
I will
and me.
say one super interesting thing. So I am reading two of the Kai-Fu Lee books. So AI Superpowers and AI 2041. In AI Superpowers, he makes a really interesting case for, we are entering, no, I think it might be in the other one, but in one of them, in the newer one, he makes the case that we are moving away from the age of like primary AI research at the university level and towards the age of implementation, where basically it's not about who has the best researchers, it's more about who has more data and who quickly uh builds models. Uh, so it sounds like you're making a similar argument, except your argument is more for industries like insurance. The language that's going to be successful in the long term is the one that has those safety measures, that has those responsible things built into it, even if it's not the largest, even if it's not the fastest. Am I making sense? Am I
I
reading it
love
correctly?
Yes, 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 yes. I love this. I mean, actually, like I have so many, like whenever I speak with you, I have 10 thoughts running in my head, Tony. So
Fantastic.
I have to like line them up one by one. You're right. I think, what I see in the organizations that we work with, transparent organizations that have the built culture, organizations that are not afraid of making mistakes,
So
organizations they that think that my actually insurance companies have told me that, believe it or not. So there are insurance
I
companies.
I'm gonna say my experience of insurance is such that they have a hard time being transparent. A lot of them tend to be very hierarchical. I mean, we're often talking about 100-year-old companies,
Yes.
and often talking about very large ones, and they're definitely afraid of making mistakes. So
But see, you can make mistakes, but you can make mistakes within defined boundaries.
okay, okay,
So
okay, okay, okay.
so so, so all the software testing deployment practices apply to AI software as well. But since this software is evolving software, the monitoring has to be more advanced. So monitoring cannot be just, is it working? Is it not working? It cannot be just that. It has to be more advanced in the sense that the way we are monitoring, our fraud detection systems, our underwriting systems, claims management systems, and humans in them, almost like internal auditing, we should be auditing our AI systems as well. So while the usual AI monitoring or ML ops systems give you basic metrics such as accuracy, downtime, the number of transactions processed, you need actually more important metrics than that, such as what are the risks, what are what are the biases, and all of them, believe it or not, can be handled by other AI models, controlled by humans, though. Controlled by humans. That's very important. So you have to have basically leaders who can be trained, and they can be trained. They can be trained actually. Establishing an executive education is really one of the things we are doing right now, and I'll share it with you first. Because executives really need to think of AI as another employee in their organization, just like they are monitoring their people. They also need to be monitoring their AI. And these AIs, coming back to your first, comments about what does it take to really screw things up. In my opinion, it takes a generative AI model, a large language model, customer facing, and not guardrailed enough. That would really screw things up in like without I think in the amounts that we cannot imagine. I mean, coming back to how can AI and how can generative AI be implemented in insurance. What I'm seeing is not all the organization has to start this, right? So you can start with a department, and we are seeing operations teams to be especially willing to experiment with AI because they have been working with new software systems all the time, and they have to have the latest technology to be competitive. Otherwise, they are not going to be competitive. And an advantage that we are giving our clients is the ability to grow their AI. So for example, our customers start with a retention solution. They want to prevent churn. They want to, understand how their customers behave with their midterm or end-term cancellations. And then immediately they start actually looking into their, for example, customer communications. They want to put all the customer communications, their Medallia, Qualtrics, Google reviews, whatever it takes. So they want to put all of them under one umbrella and understand them. So that's a generative AI solution. And then they go back to their retention model. They say, you know what, I actually want to have a profitable retention model. I want to include my customers' risk and value in my retention models. So they advance their AI model further. And then the marketing comes in, and marketing says, you know what, I don't want to just think about MQLs. I want to think about how the company does with the marketing dollars that I'm spending. So I want to look at that profitability model also. Can I? So everybody comes to the same table, and even in a siloed industry like insurance, and there are reasons why those silos are in insurance, by the way, and I'm sure the audience knows better than I do. So there are really good reasons, but what we have seen is, especially for customer-facing teams, for outreach, sales, marketing, and claims, we are able to actually reduce those silos and increase communication so that so that models do better for the whole company, not just for the department.
That in itself is a huge win. I don't care which technology we're using. If our silos start working with each other, that's
Yes.
a huge win.
Yes, they do. They do. And it's really a language thing in the following sense. You do not have to share your data with the other department, but you can share your AI models with the other department. Does that make sense?
The idea and okay, so this is where, like, I've never been a manager. I am a former underwriter, former claims adjuster, former finance guy, a former underwriter really. Um, and I chose to go in a different direction. I kind of went the sales and mass communication side, and I never became a manager. My girlfriend went the opposite way. She went straight up in the broker world, into leadership, and ended up being the youngest VP at a top 10 broker. The idea of departments in the same company not wanting to share data with each other, I want to bang my head against the
That happens
concrete
all the
column.
time, doesn't it? I mean,
Oh my god,
it happens all the time.
that is crazy. Like I've definitely seen departments not collaborate with each other, talent hoard, like make decisions even at companies that are not that large, make decisions that are bad for the company but good for the department, but not sharing data. That would drive me insane.
Yes, yes, but no, but see, no, I
Okay,
think I have been in insurance long enough to understand the reasons.
okay,
Because since this is a very highly regulated industry,
it is,
uh,
yes.
people have access to data on a need-to-know basis.
That
Okay.
that is fair,
So,
yes.
so if I'm sharing my data with the insurance company, I mean, maybe
Hmm.
it's not okay for the marketing department to see my data
Yes, if there's
in
a regulatory
raw
reason,
form.
that I get it, yes.
Okay. Not in its rawest form. So,
Okay.
so you have to really, make sure that you are sharing data in the way it's allowed. That might be one of the reasons why data has not been shared. And also, but that's not the only reason. It's also people are busy. Okay. So sharing your data brings the cost of maintaining your data. Because if I give you a data set,
Oh,
and from my department, and if I have to continuously maintain it, I have to run my department too, right? So
okay.
so that data might not be vital for me, but it might be vital for you. So so I'm taking the responsibility of maintaining
Okay.
your
So,
data because it runs through
mhm.
my department.
Okay. So because of regulatory and management issues, we don't want to share data, or at least not all the data.
Yes.
Why would we be more comfortable sharing the models?
Because the AI models, the way we create them, we share model explanations. You can share either model explanations or just the model APIs, so that you don't have to have access to the data I have created my model with.
I
You
can
don't
still
have to
query
have.
it.
It's like it's as if I have put an expert from my department at your service, except that that expert can work continuously all the time, and that expert says what I want him to tell or her to tell you as the next department.
Now
Okay. And
that is interesting.
yes, it is interesting. So suddenly we have these, I don't want to call them AIs. They are really languages. They are really experts, different pieces of expertise, different languages in some sense, about different departments, so that they can talk with each other through APIs, through models. And the good thing is you don't have to spend as much time as you would with an actual human, maintenance and so on. Like, it takes much easier to teach an AI model than to teach a human being, in some cases, because you have data. But what we do is we actually make sure that those models are trained with data and humans expertise. Because most people think of, when they start their AI deployments, they think about, do I have enough data? And we also ask the question, do you have people to create those solutions for you and to monitor those solutions view, to update them, and also to take responsibility for those solutions.
So
Yes.
are we talking extremely expensive data scientists, or what kind of people do we need to support that?
Think of customer success manager, marketing manager, and business analyst. So our platform is run by business analysts, and you could have also a junior data scientist and senior data scientists, very experienced data scientists also can use our platform if they want to maintain hundreds of models, or if they want to actually deep dive into a model and make it even better. Because we already have automated out of the AI creation and maintenance processes. But if you are a really good data scientist, together with a really good domain expert, you could create wonders. But sometimes you don't need wonders, you just need to run your business. So we are, in a couple of days, you can create solutions on our platform. And that's magic. In a couple of days. Yes, I'm not kidding you. In a couple of days. And and these are customer testimonials. Okay, so I have had people in meetings, imagine two people sitting next to each other, and one says to the other, even without Tazi's people's help, this guy next to me can create a model for me in 2 days. And the other guy says, you know what, I can actually update my models anytime I want. And I know that it's, even with testing, it will take me maybe a week to make sure everything is running well, but I can update my models. Another person saying, it took us 2 years to create solutions. Look, we gave you data on Friday, and you gave us initial results on Monday. And actually, my team can actually take this up from here. So all of these are happening right now. And if you cannot make it happen in your organization, suddenly everybody, runs. Actually, I'm sorry, everybody actually is, going in like Teslas, and you are trying to walk in your organization if you are not doing this. And I have something to tell about Tesla. So, I mean, one of the things, while we are doing all of this, I'm trying to be a good human, right? So one of the things I care about is environment. Right now, I don't know how much it is right now outside. I'm in the Bay Area. It went above hundreds.
We've been in the high 90s in Atlanta for the last couple of weeks.
Yes, and it is like 20 some degrees above the average right now. So what we have done with cars, we arrived at a solution like Tesla after ruining the environment. And I'm not saying that cars are the only responsible party here, but obviously, there is our way of life, our consumerism, etc. But I won't go into those.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with AI is people are right now after the fastest, the most expensive GPUs to run their large language models. And what we have discovered is sometimes you need a large language model, sometimes you need a deep learning model, sometimes you need, a machine learning model, a usual machine learning model, such as a decision tree. Sometimes you need just a rule-based system, and sometimes you just need, a random check, and that will be just fine. So our platform enables the choice of the model that fits your needs. You do not have to buy a GPU with us to use a generative AI model. Believe it or not. Everybody thinks that, oh, I need generative AI, so I need a GPU. No, you do not necessarily need a GPU. Believe it or not. And we, from the way we started, we actually had continuous learning algorithms, and they take up much less energy than recreating your models from scratch, because the continuous learning algorithms update themselves, which means not just less data scientist and IT time, it also means less computational time. So suddenly, yeah, instead of huge servers, things can run on a very small server. Even
the
if you
energy
have
consumption
Yes.
of our new AI addiction is insane. The last couple of weeks, I've been reading about that. LinkedIn, a couple of days ago, had articles on how the large AI companies, Google and somebody else, are looking at becoming the exclusive customers for a couple of nuclear power plants, because that is how much power they need.
Mm.
While we're trying to move away from dirty fuels, and we need every ounce of less dirty or clean energy we can get, and we're using ridiculous amount of energy to fake an AI girlfriend.
Yes, yes. And
Depressing.
also to use huge large language models when we don't need them. There is a new wave, which I'm really, really hopeful that it's going to solve a lot of problems. Once I attended a conference, I was actually a speaker at a panel, and one of the speakers told me that in a claims process, there are there are 30 decision points until a
Makes
claim is
sense.
processed.
Yeah, the
There
passes
are 30
the
steps.
smell test. Yeah,
So there are two different ways you can use large language models. One way is you can say, here's the claim problem, solve this for me, okay? And then you can use a huge, gigantic, large language model working for you, and you can employ PhDs in data science and experts in IT, etc., and lots of like chugging machines, and you can create something, but you cannot really control that thing. You cannot really update that thing. So the solution for that is agentic workflows using agents. You can take a business process, you can divide it up into pieces, and for each piece, you can use an AI model or a generative AI model. And agents, when you are using agents, those models can actually test and update themselves. They can reflect on what they do, and they can also learn from the other decision points. So just like humans do. If you are in a decision process point right after me, you look at what I output, and then you say, you know what, Zehra, you are making no sense right now. And then I'm like, okay, Tony, you're right. I'm not making sense. Let me correct this. So agentic workflows allow the workflows to be broken down into pieces and using much smaller capacity learning systems. Sometimes you can use a very small model and very small amount of data to just get what you need to do done. And that's amazing. So we are planning to include agents in our generative AI implementations, and also in our AI implementations, because Tazi was a Gartner honorable mention in Magic Quadrant for Cloud AI Developer Systems, which means we have APIs all over the AI creation and maintenance steps, just like the business processes. So we can use generative AI systems, use our platform. So think of not just business, but AI systems being actually compliant, being monitored, and when they break, you know which piece broke, and you know how to fix that piece. So dividing and conquering. So agents are all about dividing and conquering the smaller pieces requires much less computational
makes
power.
sense. So, okay, how do we know? So if I'm a broker or a carrier, let's say a regional, not a nationwide, not a State Farm, but like Erie
I
Insurance,
love regionals. They are
right?
just right. Yes.
Erie Insurance, or one of the many Westfield Insurance, whatever, one of the many great regional and super regionals. We've invested a lot in getting better systems and stuff, in predictive modeling, that kind of stuff. and now we're looking at AI. We're starting to play with AI. So when we look at bringing Tazi in, basically the first thing you do is help us figure out what requires a big model, what can use a smaller model, what doesn't really need AI.
Yeah, I mean, we actually work with our customers. It's really all about, like, we never want to disrupt anything our customer does. We come in as an upgrade where you need us. Uh, Sometimes we increase communication between data and business teams. Data scientists might have built models, but business doesn't buy in them. So
Uh-huh.
data scientists create models on our platform. Suddenly there is communication. There is so much communication. I attend these customer meetings and I take notes. I'm like, okay, you are not implementing this right now. Next year, you should implement this next year. And ideas pour like crazy. And those people have never spoken to each other in that manner because they have
Okay.
not understood each other. So when they see ideas implemented on a platform, because AI always is work in progress. As a business unit, when you have a thought on what you want to solve, but when you see the solution created, you realize that the solution you wanted was something else actually. So it's constant communication, and we come in as the added layer of communication, added layer of increased accuracies, increased business value, sometimes added layer of monitoring, and sometimes added layer of glue between different departments. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
yes, absolutely. You're painting a beautiful picture.
Of course,
Uh,
I'm a startup co-founder. I believe in that picture and I invent that picture every
um,
day.
um, with how much money is flowing into AI, with how much attention uh is going into Gen AI, why isn't every AI provider focused on this kind of very, so it seems to me as a non-technical user, and I'm not a buyer either, right? I interview people on the podcast, but I never have to make the decision and sign the check, which is fantastic. uh, but it seems to me that most providers are focused on being the largest, the biggest, the fastest, uh, not on is that what the client actually needs, especially in our heavily regulated industry. So why do you guys think so differently compared to the other, I'm guessing, whole bunch of AI providers?
Um, First of all, I guess I'm how do I say this? We started with continuous learning, Tony, because we decided that the way AI was being created was wrong. Data scientist silos was wrong because AI is such an intricate solution, and it's so deeply embedded in your business. You cannot, just like when you have a child, you cannot just say, okay, the child is born, I'll just leave it to, X school, I'll pump you billions of dollars of money, take care of my child and bring me the perfect child I want.
Uh,
So
my mom took that approach to her second child, not me.
okay,
Not billions, but in a smaller scale. And the results were not great.
okay.
uh, hopefully neither of them listen to my podcast, which I don't think they do because they're not in insurance.
I'll let them
throwing a
know to
lot of money
listen.
at the problem only made it flame bigger.
Exactly, exactly. So I mean, well, I mean, I'm sure your mom and your brother are great people. So, and I would love to meet with them. But the reason why I'm giving this as an example, um, AI is from the beginning, we wanted to have the right architecture. My co-founder, he's also my husband, Tanju. He cannot take he just cannot accept wrong architectures. I mean, like wrong architecture, not in terms of just software architecture, but in terms of the design. And he was the one who said, you know, AI systems have to be continuously updating themselves. And then, you know, after our insurance clients said, you know what, I love, you know, I really adore you guys. I mean, how can I not believe you? But how do I believe your AI? I need to understand this AI. And then people said, you know what, I want to teach this AI. I understand it, but I want to teach it because it doesn't see some of the things I see. So we started this AI that continuously updates, explains, and learns from human domain experts. We started with that idea at the very beginning.
So
And
from the beginning, you started from a contrarian view
yes,
of what AI should
and
be
we
and
are
how it was
still
being built.
digging our deeps in that contrarian view.
Got it.
I really
That
believe in that. I really
it
believe.
makes perfect sense why you're different from the rest of the AI providers.
Yes.
So we have 9 minutes. We're almost out of time, but
I have to give an example.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, like I fell in love with the insurance executives when the following happened. We were doing a cross-sell case, and we have the IT team who brought us in, and there was an underwriter at the table, and the underwriter looked at the AI explanations, and then he said, you know what, my team is using this Excel that we have not really shared with the IT team, but I believe if you use this, you are going to have much better results. And they shared that data with the IT team. There was 15% increase in accuracy thanks to their data. After I saw that, I'm like, okay, you know, if these people can talk with each other, their models will rock and roll. So after I have seen that, I mean, I have no doubt that people who are using this technology will succeed. There is no way that they will not succeed. So I still believe in this vision, and I think that's the AI vision that we all have to not just believe, but also ask for. I mean, I don't want AI to do things at mass scale against me or against another human being. And the only way to guarantee that is to control AI by humans. And humans are not necessarily just data scientists, not necessarily PhDs in AI. There aren't many of them. We need all the humans, all the stakeholders to be able to have a say in what AI does for them. So that's the vision I want to implement, and I'm implementing that with my team, of course.
I'm looking at your website right now, because keeping the human in AI is a great slogan. So
Yes,
consider that, keeping the human element in
yes,
AI. All right. So we had a second topic
yes,
about Gen AI, conversational AI, and how you're seeing a lot of little experiments all around when it comes to AI. But basically, you guys can help scale that. So
yes,
we don't have time today,
yes.
but I am sending you a message right now with a different Calendly, which basically, and actually, like I sent you the 1 hour long one, where we really don't need an hour because it's just like to like finish this idea. So basically, the last message I sent you on LinkedIn, grab some time for like next week, and let's record like an addendum to finish up the conversation. That
Yes.
last question that we haven't chatted about.
Yes. And I actually want you to use that AI.
Okay, you know what? Let's do that. The next conversation. Have the conversation on that, and like share your screen. Show me what it looks like.
And you can actually type on my screen. I'll share with you
Fantastic.
my screen, and what I'm amazed is with generative AI, you know, like, you know, it was trying to be clever. Okay, so it was trying to, like, I'm asking, no, do this, and it's like la 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 la, and then I'm like, no, don't do this, do this, and it's like, oh, okay. So suddenly, you know, you realize that things that took either a BI person in our case, or lots of data scientists in other AI companies' cases, it can actually be done by an actual human business expert talking with the AI directly. But
You know that
more about that.
what you just described of do this and it's like trying to be clever. I I don't have a PhD in this, but that sounds like consciousness to me, and that is absolutely scary. And it brings me back to the Google engineer a couple of years ago who left the company after claiming that their AI model had gained consciousness. Uh,
It's not that. It's
okay,
actually to the contrary. It's to the contrary. It actually shows me, because I know how they are trained.
okay. Mm-hmm.
To me, it shows it doesn't have the capacity to listen to me. It is telling me the things that it memorized.
Oh,
Because,
okay, perfect. So
because
from
these AI systems were always asked, like when they see a customer complaints, they have been asked to create the solution all the time.
mhm.
Okay. So when they see a customer complaint, their first reaction is creating a solution. And I had to tell the AI system, no, don't create a solution. I want something very particular about this. There's an example, there's another example for this. You know, I'll ask you, and I'm very curious about what your answer will be. So I have a boat, and I have a goat and meat. And the boat can only take two things at a time. How do I, like, how many turns does it take for me to pass the goat and the meat to the other side of the river?
Yeah, the way my brain works, it would take me like 13 trips, and I would end up eating both the goat and the meat. One trip. What do I just stand
You
in
just
the
put
middle
goat and the
holding?
meat, and you cross, because your brain is thinking about the goat and the meat and the grass problem.
Uh-huh.
Because you have seen that all the time, right? So you have
Yeah.
seen the goat and the meat. No, actually, I'm sorry. I guess there is the lion and the
Yeah, no,
goat
no.
and grass.
I've heard the riddle, and basically I've seen people solve it by like
But
mathing it out.
I have asked you. The goat doesn't eat the meat, right? So you can just put the goat and the meat on the boat, and you can just let them cross. You don't need 13 things. You just need one trip. They
Okay,
won't
because
eat each other.
but I'm overthinking it because I've heard similar
See,
ones
the
before.
same thing, when you ask it to a large language model, it tries to do exactly what you have tried to do. And it's not because it's clever, it's because it has been asked questions like that all the time and
Mm-hmm.
trying to pattern match. It's really
Yeah,
about what kind of patterns has it been exposed to.
very interesting. All right.
It's not
Um,
intelligence, it's just pattern matching. So anyway, we'll talk later.
Thank you very much for your time today. Looking
Thank
forward
you
to
so
finish
much,
the
Tony. It's
conversation.
always a pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. For the listeners, we are back. It felt like a second to you, but to us, it was basically the 4th of July holiday. We ran out of time a couple days ago, so we are back for kind of like an addendum to the conversation. So you might have noticed a wardrobe change. That's because it's a different day for us. So Zehra, thank you for coming back. And really, the one question that I really wanted to get to, and we didn't have time in the first recording. So conversational AI agents. Okay, so you mentioned before we started recording that you're seeing a lot of pilot programs out there, usually using Copilot. But how to actually scale this is kind of like something that it hasn't been done yet. So yeah, tell us about this piece. What is it you're seeing, and where do you think it's going, and how can your platform help?
Sure. So when we have our customer conversations, almost every customer has a couple of team members who are trying out Copilot and Microsoft Copilot, and they are trying it out, but they are also given the instructions to not share very sensitive data because you don't know where your data will go and so on. So, but we are not seeing the usage of this at scale, meaning I can ask a couple of questions to generative AI about my document, maybe, about a person, whatever, but how do I do this at scale for thousands, hundreds of thousands of customer communications? And also, what we are seeing another gap is where we are seeing another gap is the ability to combine AI, because AI is really good when it has data, when it has a very well-defined problem. So everybody we all did all these years of investment in data and AI. We actually can use just AI models instead of generative AI models for some problems. So we should really have the mindset of, oh, I have generative AI. Should I use it for everything? No. The mindset should be, I have generative AI, I have AI, I have rule-based systems, I have my humans in my team. Who does what? So that I have a responsible, system. I have a transparent system. I have a system that is robust, right? So how can I have such a system? Don't think just in terms of compliance. Think of profits. Think of efficiencies. How can I have such a system? And everybody have their own place. Like every component has its own place. So we approach this problem, and as we already have an AI platform. We already have the ability to give our clients out-of-the-box solutions, and they can customize, they can configure those solutions to their needs, and they can do that even if they don't have a single data scientist in their team. If you have just a BI, business analyst, operations person who know the data and business, they can actually customize our solutions to your problem. And we can talk more about that. I mean, but that's the AI part. The generative AI part is even more, even easier. Is it okay to show a couple of screens?
Absolutely, please.
Okay. So I'm going to share 3 things with you. First, how can you create a generative AI solution for customer communications, sentiment, and topic detection? This is the instruction you see here is for a bank, actually, but you can very easily translate this into insurance. So I write the prompt, and the prompt basically says, identify the sentiment of the communication, positive, negative, neutral, and then tell me which topic among these the communication belongs to, and then give me the output in this format. You always have to specify the output format with the generative AI systems, because this system speaks with some other systems, so you have to tell what kind of output. So this is all English. I haven't written any code. I submit, and then we allow you to actually check the outputs on a set of examples. You have seen my previous feedback there. And by the way, this is running on a consumer-grade GPU, and we have tested it also on CPUs. It also runs on CPUs. You don't need a huge GPU to run this, and everything is local. None of your data gets out. Yes.
So by a consumer grade GPU, I'm a gamer, so I'm from that world.
Exactly.
So, but
yes.
For a consumer grade GPU, you mean a $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 piece of hardware? Okay.
Yes, you could be running this on that kind of a hardware.
Okay. At this speed.
Yes. At the
Fantastic.
speed, yes, yes. And here you can see, everything is all the, there are all these parameters. Basically, you are saying, I want to use this LLM provider, I want to use this LLM, and these options are selected automatically if you are using a configured solution. But you can choose it yourself too. Everything is, I think our design strategy is we automatically select a couple of things or a lot of things for you, but you can always go back and change them. So coming back to this, the system actually, the generative AI solution created for me these sentiments and topics, and I can give feedback. I can say, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. I'm not sure. I'm just randomly giving feedback here and give this feedback. And then I get a performance, how good is this? And then I can say, okay, start this model with my selected data and run and create everything else for me. So this process of putting generative AI at scale, but human in the loop, and that human is a business user, somebody who knows about customer complaints, customer topics, customer complaint or communication, sentiment and topics. That's all they need to know. They don't need to know AI, actually. The next thing, after I press this, all of my communications will go through this generative AI system. Here we see the topics, the distribution of topics in time, and we see, this usually goes to a system like Salesforce. So all my customer outreach agents are able to see what kind of communication, what was the topic, what was the sentiment, and you can prioritize your communications or outreach actions based on what you see. But that's not all. So one of the things we have observed, usually you want to have some predictive context about your customer. You just don't want to just look at the conversations, and that's one of the things that conversational AI is lacking. And the way we are filling this gap with is actually, let me pull another screen here. By bringing the AI predictions in front of the agents for customer churn here. So it's a very, what you see here is a very similar dashboard to what we have seen before. Usually these dashboards, by the way, are used by executives, decision makers, to decide whether systems are working correctly or not. And usually the people who actually take actions, outreach agents, support agents, they see these in their system, Salesforce or whatever, Genesis, whatever system they are using. Here, what we have done is we have added, in addition to the predicted topic and sentiment that as from generative AI, we have added the predictive churn, whether the customer will remain or churn with us. AI predicted that for us. Another AI system that has been created, it actually has been configured based on an existing AI solution for customer retention. And that predictive context is right in front of you as a customer outreach agent.
That is huge. So I started my insurance career at the Farm Bureau call center, Farm Bureau of Iowa, claims call center, right? So we took the call, we entered into the system, we either kept the claim ourselves or gave it to the next level adjuster. But this was 2009. The most context I had was the account. Was like I could see all the vehicles or all the property, all of that stuff. At other insurance companies, they didn't even have that, right? Like chances are, like when I went to Nationwide, I could see how many cars they had, but I had no context overall at our relationship with this person. The frontline person being able to like have a warning, hey, given what the complaint is, this is a customer we're likely to lose. That is gigantic, because that way, like a good customer service person can triage from there, right? Whether that means bringing in a supervisor, whether that means bringing in somebody that is specifically trained in like difficult problems with this particular topic, that right? Because by the way, I love that it gives me both the topic and the chances that we'll lose the client because of it, right? Because then I can very quickly make a decision. Do I go to my supervisor? Do I go to my SME in this topic so that we can fix this quickly? Right. And then I've never been a manager, but I do have an MBA, and I'm a nerd about management and leadership. The big view, the dashboard view, management in real time or something close to real time, being able to figure out. So it turns out all of those deer claims that there was a time at Farm Bureau where all of a sudden we got super busy with deer claims and deer were interesting because they're simple, clear liability, not a total loss generally. So we would handle them ourselves in the department. They didn't get assigned to the next level, so they were a big deal for us. I can totally see the leadership looking at this and being like, oh wow, we knew that the adjusters were overburdened with deer hits, but we didn't think of the fact that they're so far behind that there are customers that are at risk of leaving because of that, right? And they can move resources appropriately before that happens, right? So yes, I can totally. This is really, really, really cool. So, um, are you like fully deployed with this particular solution with
Yes.
real clients right now?
Yes, what I have shown you was, as I said, a customer retention solution and voice of customer in banking.
Mm-hmm.
We have the exact same solution for insurance, auto insurance right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Okay.
And also banking. We have the same solution in banking as well. And we are in testing stage with one of our clients for
That
the
is
voice of customer
that
and retention
that is
solution at the same
fantastic.
time.
You know what I would love to do, and we're running out of time
Yes.
today, but I 6 months, a year down the road, whenever it's the right time, you tell me. I would love to have both you and the client. So like from one of the ones
Oh,
that,
that would be lovely.
right? So
Yes.
like their head of customer service or whoever the leader is that whose life has changed because of this solution. I'd love to have you both given your perspective. So let me know on that.
Yes, that would be lovely. And uh, I mean, I have two comments. One, I think seeing the actual heroes, right? Because we create a platform and we created a platform and we have created solutions. These are out of the box on top of the platform. But the real heroes are people who use these solutions to make a change. And you can make a change. And I want to follow up with your thought on understanding what your adjusters were doing, understanding whether customers would be unhappy before they
and
have even shown signs
and
of churn,
and
right?
and tell you what, in your average medium-sized and larger insurance companies, I'm guessing it's better in the small ones, but in your average medium-sized and larger insurance companies, the leadership that actually has the power to make decisions is so far away from the reality on the ground today. Even if they themselves grew up or started their careers in a frontline job, the client has changed, the challenges have changed, the job has radically changed from when you were there 22 years ago, kind of thing, right? Um, and that change is only accelerating. So it'll be the same by the time my generation, by the time my 40-year-old friends are 62-year-old, CEOs or COOs or whatever, uh, we'll have the same disadvantage that the call center we grew up in is very different now, right? Um,
Yes.
and it takes so long for the data to get upstairs, and it's so hard for the leadership who doesn't see this every day to understand the context of what this is happening, and that it doesn't allow them quick movement, even if they want quick, right? The insurance, they might not, but yes, like the person, the COO of the company sitting 22 stories above me, or making the decisions. I love the idea that they can see the trends that are happening today and adjust accordingly instead of adjusting next year, if we're
I mean,
lucky.
it's actually further than that. It's actually you can predict trends. You can actually say, you can actually know exactly where the accidents are likely to happen, to whom, and you can actually warn your clients. I mean, for client, as a customer, if
The
something bad happens, and if my insurance company or if my bank immediately calls me and tells me, you know what, we made a mistake, or we have taken too long, we know, and we are so sorry about this. Is there anything we can do
Mhm.
to make up for this?
Oh,
Okay, so that immediate, like
getting
knowing that things have taken too long, but
getting a
predicting it,
yeah, getting a text, right? There's a giant hurricane right now facing Mexico, and it just went through the southern Caribbean. Earliest hurricane in history, right? In the season. If that hurricane were barreling towards Florida or New Orleans or Alabama or wherever, if those clients got texts saying this is coming, here's some resources, if those clients got hyper what's it called, hyper customized and hyper geotagged,
personalized, yeah,
personalized uh texts the day after the hurricane saying, we are like, our best prediction is that you were affected,
yeah,
here's X, right? He that like, right, that like, if we can
yes,
turn into a loss prevention engine and into a very quick, the big, it's the parametric thing, the big claim will still take us months to adjust. That's probably fine. The client would probably be understanding of that if they're already in a hotel, if they already feel like we're on it, and if they're getting posted, and if we were ahead of it, they're much more likely to be happy and remain with us than if they waited 6 hours on the phone, from a payphone, if such a thing still exists. If they
yes,
waited 6 hours on a really understaffed call center that did not predict this was going to happen,
yes,
in order to even report their claim, and then when they reported it, they were told it might take us 3 weeks for an adjuster to even give you a call, right? Because
yes,
we're so
yes,
overloaded. If we can
yes,
get ahead of that with this technology,
yes,
we are changing our relationship with the client from, or the member, whatever, right? Different insurance companies call them different things depending on of how we're arranged. We are changing our relationship with the final user of the insurance, to be something that they think about more than once a year, and
exactly,
that they sometimes think about in a positive way. And let me tell you what,
yes,
there is nobody more loyal than somebody who had a good experience with a bad insurance claim. For me, it was life changing as a claims adjuster and as an insurance professional. After the tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri in 20, I want to say 11, it was the deadliest tornado up until that point in the U.S. history. 100 and some people uh, passed away.
wow,
And I was an inside adjuster. I the Nationwide was so overwhelmed that they asked for volunteers from inside to go on the field to help in with the effort. And I will never forget like the destruction, and I will never forget going to McDonald's for lunch with my Nationwide shirt, and have the employee thanking me for being there, and literally say, we are so glad that you guys are here. and the stories of the people, and yeah, if we get that right, they'll stay with us forever. And tools like this make it so much more possible to get that right. So anyway, I at this point I've made you 3 minutes late to your next meeting, and I've made myself 3 minutes late.
No, it's quite okay. It's a pleasure, Tony. I mean,
thank you so much.
You actually crystal clear, articulated my dream. I mean, like the reason why I got into one of the reasons why I got into insurance was, and also in financial services, there are so many things that can be done for the client by the institution. And you know, the executives in these companies, when they are given not just data but insight, it's really not about data, about insight. And if the executives can tell to their whole team, these are our KPIs. For each KPI, I have a predictive model, and you know, these are what we are going to be doing this week, this month, and here are the results we got from last week, last month. These are working, these are not working. So suddenly you have executives in sync with what's happening. And it's very difficult to lead if you are not in sync. You have to know what's happening.
Data is useless without context. And ultimately, yes, if your data plus the context we can put around it is not helping you get the insights, it's not giving you the insights so you can make decisions. All your billions of dollars of investment in technology is not going to get you there.
Yes, and one last word. I mean, I just, you know, it's not just insights, but it's also that trust, like knowing that that model, it gets my feedback, and I don't have to wait for 6 months for a data scientist team to fix it. And my business analyst can help me get this done ASAP. My data science team can deep dive and solve deeper problems. But a lot of problems that happen with data and models, they can be fixed by the BI people with the right platform. So I really believe in this, and I have seen it happen again and again. So thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the conversation as usual. Thank you so much.